What do you get when you cross a know-it-all newspaper columnist with an awkward, unsophisticated everyman?
Yeah. Well, I'm just not sure about that right now.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube.
Welcome to Couch and the Rube, our Friday morning show, presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Download the app today, bet the games we're betting, or maybe bet something else and actually win money, or just swing on by down to Dacey's Tap Room and Sportsbook at Firekeepers Casino, an awesome in-house experience. If you're looking for, just a different kind of Saturday, watching MLB playoffs, watching college football, lots of stuff going on at Firekeepers and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Again, download the app and you can have the casino right at your fingertips. Jason, how you doing, brother?
Have not been able to beat Cleveland forever. Forever, dude. It's seriously been like a decade that Cleveland has had our number. They've had our number for so long that they've had our number since they were called the Cleveland Indians, bro. And now the Cleveland Guardians. We have not been able to beat this team for seriously a decade. It's been a long time since we.
Can we just listen to this and not do a show?
Oh, man.
I mean, it's only 20 minutes long.
You know,
it's sponsored by Roast Umber, but
What's funny is if people had never listened to the show before that moment, when I said, "How you doing, brother?" and that's your response, people would think that's how you sounded.
That's how I would have sounded in 1995.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If this transpired yesterday, the way it did yesterday, and it was 15-year-old, 16-year-old Rube, I guarantee you I would be doing the same thing Tony Dombrowski's doing. I just think Tony's like 35.
Right.
So that's why it cracks me up with his passion.
There was a movie about this, 35 going on 15 or something like that.
Jennifer McConaughey?
Jennifer Garner, I think, yeah. Oh. Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Is that starring Tony Dombrowski? Is that his story? Anyway, yeah, what's up, dude? This Tigers team's fucking exhausting me.
It is exhausting.
Oh, my God. Everybody's going to be like, are you going to apologize to this team? I'm not apologizing for anything. Get out of here.
It's a great treadmill team because what you're looking for when you're walking on the treadmill is something that's exhilarating that keeps you from thinking about walking. And the Tigers are just...
Stop hanging yourself. It's like, come on. You're sitting on a treadmill watching this thing. You might as well add to the suffering. Go walk around and do something else.
No. It's the best way.
Commercial break.
It's the best way. You get going. It's a great...
Yeah.
No, it was fun. That was fun to see. And, the funny thing about the next series is, and I got ahead of myself on the tweet I sent out this morning. I said ALDS-bound Tigers for the show, but yeah, it's not ALDS.
Hammer Seattle.
This is the round where baseball is most unfair coming up because you get a team that wins a division, wins by a certain amount of games, best of 5 series, and they got to face Scoobel twice. And look, it's great for the Tigers. I'm not. Yeah, from a Tigers perspective. But
I wish we could pitch them 3 times.
If I was in another team's perspective, I was like, hey, how about you require a team to go out and get more than one pitcher before you can win a series like this? I mean, that's the one side of baseball I don't love in the postseason.
That should have been our bye week, though. I think.
Yeah. It's
hey, we beat the AL Central champs, though. Come on, F you guys, huh? Who's the real AL Central champs now? Sitting there having to listen to Illich. I have never been a part of a team that's like you're happy they won, but then you go, now I got to hear about. Here we go. They beat Cleveland. Redemption. Let's go to Seattle. I mean, what if they get swept by Seattle? I mean, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm happy for them, but I mean, I'm pissed at what this team has put me through this season. I'm not going to lie.
It doesn't.
I'm not going to sit there and lie and come on this show today and be like, oh, absolutely. I knew those guys could do it.
No, you want them to win, but it doesn't change anything about the offseason introspection they need to have and the moves they need to make.
The baddie. I mean, goddamn, the Guardians are worse than we are at hitting.
Yeah, it's not.
Jesus.
It's not good.
I mean, how bad can you be? Anyway.
Before we get into your groovy donut Twitter questions, and I think it's going to be a good show. I always say that, but I really do. I think there's some good ones here. What we are betting this weekend, presented by Firekeepers and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Are you laying the wood on the Tigers? Are you laying money on the Tigers?
What are the odds? I have not even looked.
I think it's like +1.
Oh, I did. We did look at them last night.
Yeah.
Mariners are -170 to win it. Tigers, what was the plus side? +132 on that.
Yeah. That's where you're at. Yep.
It's not enough.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy the series. I'm not going to put any money on the Tigers. I'm sorry. You got to give me a little bit better at +130, 134, I guess. Really not many games I'm looking at. I mean, the Lions against the Bengals, I don't know if that line's gone up at all. I do like Kansas City against at Jacksonville. Pittsburgh at home against Boston College. Can Boston College go into Pittsburgh and upset Pitt?
Yeah, I'm out on Boston College after a few weeks. I'm finally out. I can't trust that team.
Really? 5.5 points?
They've been I'm not
BC and 5 and a hook? For that $800?
Not going to do it. That team quit at Stanford. I'm sorry. That team,
that's pretty bad.
I can't do it.
Hey, that's a great Bill O'Brien team, though.
I do think this is a great weekend for some heavy favorite money line parlays. And these don't always hit perfectly in terms of the availability of them, right? You get games you're not sure about. Like last night, 49ers were like a 9-point dog at the Rams. 49ers Rams, that's not a game you want to trust in the under or the favorite to win.
Yeah, tell Treese that was her survivor pick this week.
Oh boy. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry,
I was telling her about the injuries for the 49ers last night when she was trying to go through her pick. And yeah, she took the Rams.
Well, should have won it. All right, so Lions minus 550, I think, is part of this, right? If you're trying to assemble something.
Are you throwing soccer in this?
I am throwing soccer in it. I'm sorry. But I'm starting with the Lions minus 550 and Michigan minus 900 against Wisconsin. There's just no way Wisconsin's winning that game in the Big House. They're not very good.
That's why it's minus 900.
Correct. So you're just starting with those two things, right? And then as you build, I think it depends how how adventurous you want to be. But in the Premier League, there are 3 games I really like. Arsenal at home against West Ham, and they're like minus 500. Newcastle at home against Nottingham Forest, just minus 170. And Man City at Brentford, minus 160. What I would do with some of these games, again, you're just trying to, if you can really get a good payday if all these hit perfectly. But I would on the soccer, especially not the Arsenal game, but the Newcastle game and the Man City Brentford game, do the draw no bet option where if it's a tie, you get your money back on that leg. Takes a little of the risk out, but there's good money to be made, better than even money by doing that. And I just don't see any of those losing. That said, I didn't see Man City losing to Monaco or tying Monaco, and that's one reason to take the tie draw no bet on soccer. I didn't see that happening in the Champions League. So anyway, that is what we are betting this weekend, presented by our friends at Firekeepers and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Download their upgraded app today. I think you'll like the user experience. All right, Jason, you ready to get into these Groovy Donut Twitter questions?
Yeah, man, let's do it. Jebediah first. More likely, MSU wins Saturday or the Tigers sweep the Mariners? And from Big John Hogg, better chance of happening, the Tigers in 5 or MSU beating Nebraska? That's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question.
That's a solid question.
Yeah.
From both of them.
Okay, so more likely, I would say more likely is MSU win Saturday than the sweep.
Okay, yes, I can go with that.
Because I think even though you can see how a sweep would happen, right? If they somehow win game 1, game 2 is Schuylkill, and then they're home at Comerica, and you've got momentum. You could just see how it happens. It's obviously unlikely. And I think the line of MSU at Nebraska should be closer to 7.5 than 11.5. Like I think this will be a competitive game. I think the line's off. Now. Chance of
August doesn't know what they're talking about.
Tigers in 5 or MSU beating Nebraska gets more interesting. I picked Nebraska by 34-27 competitive game, but Tigers in 5 with Scubo going twice. Like I'm with Jason. I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm not going to have money either way. I don't want to stake in this because I don't.
Why not? If anyone should be gambling on things, it should be you with that Cleveland Guardians $800 AL Central bet.
No,
I'd be sprinkling.
No, I lost it already on Mira Andreeva in the China Open. Don't worry. It's gone. Other than the money I've saved.
So no one gets a flannel?
No, I've saved the money for the Muskox flannel, which we will talk about Monday and exactly how we're going to give that out.
Okay.
Because we are going to give out a free Muskox flannel.
We're just going to do it in a different way than just send us an ugly picture of yourself?
No, that's exactly what we're going to do.
Oh.
But we're going to do it. Yeah, we're just going to promote it through the show and a window. So. And a hashtag for it and things like that.
Oh,
so,
a hashtag.
Yeah. I'm not going to tweet out about it. So I want people, just listeners, just people who are actually listening.
Oh. You mean people pay attention to our tweets but don't listen to the show?
I don't think they. Well, that's a good question.
Be crazy.
Yeah.
You mean someone follows the Couch and the Rube account and is like, I I just like these guys on Twitter. Their social media is kick ass.
That's fair. It probably doesn't matter. I just want to only do it that way.
Let's think about it over the weekend and come up with a good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would actually take the Tigers in this slightly in 5, just because you're pitching Scooball twice, and then you got to win once at home. And Scooball's twice on the road, and you got to win once at home. Like I can see that.
You realize we have to score runs. I know that game yesterday gave us some false hope.
Well,
right. To win.
Oh, that's trouble.
Yeah. Jebediah, Jason, was the great Sip 69 not on the list because you were locked into Tigers baseball? Because that one was an all-timer. I'm not going to lie. I had the game on my phone. I was watching. I was listening to Sip. Okay. Yeah, I guess I missed a good 69 session. I mean, I heard it. I did hear it.
Yeah. It's like when you're listening to porn. It
wasn't. Yeah, I never listened to porn, though. Don't try to listen. You can still watch porn without the volume, but. Yeah, sorry I missed that.
Yeah, for those who missed, Steven Sipple, Nebraska columnist, was on Wednesday.
And him and Graham 69 on the show live. So if you missed that, go back and watch the YouTube.
Incredible.
It's crazy.
Incredible. I'm a big fan of Sip.
Weird.
Big fan of Sip. So
Sip was on top, so we didn't see much of Couch, thank God.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
I have to go back and listen to that one. Money back. The MSU O-line looked shockingly competent in the game after the bye last year and was a big reason we got a win. Is there any chance the defense can do that this year?
Yes, to a degree. I mean, the players they have are the players they have, and I think that's an issue up front on the edge and getting, they just don't have a lot of guys who are going to get themselves home, at least veteran. I mean, maybe there's some young guys who, we've seen a little bit of hint of hope there. But yeah, I do think one of the things, you have to trust what you see. And sometimes one of the reasons I think people don't trust this staff entirely is what they've seen on the field, right? The one thing we do have evidence of is the best game Michigan State played last year was coming off a bye. They looked really good, focused, disciplined. And so will this team look its best, fresher, healthier, and real dialed in? I think they probably will. What that looks like, I don't know, but I think they got a decent chance to be better against the run than they've been because they've been okay at times that way. Running the football, obviously they're down a couple offensive linemen, but that this was a battle for starting spots before the season, and can they run the ball there against a Nebraska team that hasn't been able to run the ball? But defensively, I think they can look their best. I just don't know what their best is. I don't think it's going to be something that's going to wow you.
Moneybag, where would you rank this year in a list of best MSU offenses since 2010?
It's a good question. There's more to prove before you can truly answer this and be sure about it, because they've got to do it in difficult settings consistently and show that they're it doesn't matter who the opponent is. They've got guys who are difference makers. And I think we think they do. We think Childs, the way he's playing, obviously Nick Marsh and Omari Kelly. But, you still have to see it a little more. I look at that 2014 group that averaged 43 points a game, and some of that was schedule-based. And, I'm going to put up 70 in one game that year. That was the best offense that I've covered. I think the 2021 team, obviously with Kenneth Walker and Jalen Naylor and Jaden Reed, when they were all rolling before Naylor got hurt, and that mid-October stretch when, playing at Rutgers and the Michigan game, that's probably number 2. Number 3, the 13 to 15 teams when they got rolling. But I this team has a chance to be in that number 3 range. No, that's not. They could just run the ball back then. The offensive line was so much better. I think this team has a chance to be 5 after. And I didn't cover 10 or 11, so 11 was good. 5 or 6, maybe 6. This team has a chance to be 6. I don't think they're going to run the ball well enough to be in that top group.
Parker Weiss next. Hypothetically speaking, with a win in Lincoln, does the narrative and feeling about this MSU team and season improve that drastically? With a loss, lets MSU cover easily. Would it shift the vibes and opinions much from where it currently sits about how good this team is? I think it depends on how it looks. Let's say it's a very solid performance in both instances. Sup, T.O. and BP?
Sup, T.O., BP?
BP slipping in another one. You can't do that.
Yeah. See how many
you were good with T.O. Sup, T.O. Who's BP?
Parker's got another friend.
I'm like, how long is this going to go here? Going to add guys.
What if this is actually, I mean, it's just initials. This could be his wife and his mistress really going out, on a.
BP.
Yeah.
BP sounds hot.
It could be like Beth, somebody, yeah.
I think he'd use the real name.
Yeah.
Come on. You would out him in no time.
Accidentally. I wouldn't mean to. Yeah, if you're cheating on your wife, don't like joke about it here because I'll accidentally.
It's crazy that he's cheating his wife. He's a system controller in Hazlitt. I can't believe you'd do such a thing. Wait, what did I say? Oh man, is that gonna be? That's gonna end bad for him, huh? Oh,
we'll fix it.
That in post, I guess. Yeah. All right, I gotta go.
I do think. I mean, obviously, they win. It'll change the narrative quite a bit. Because I think also people will see just the number of wins. If they win, even if Nebraska's not a great team, if you win on the road in the Big Ten and you can see UCLA coming to town and you're going to be at 5 wins at the midpoint of the season like that, it'll just change the hope and vibes. If they play well and lose a competitive game, I don't think it will alter what people think of this team. And it depends how and why they lost a little bit. But it might. Yeah, it's interesting. That's a good question.
It would change the way I feel about the team, though. If they go in, especially if they win. If they go in, I don't care what Nebraska is. They still have Raiola at quarterback. Nebraska, they're going to have a sellout crowd. It's going to be a tough environment on the road. You win a game like that against Matt Rule in Nebraska, I'm sorry, it's going to change my mind how I feel about certain things.
But 34-27, what would that if they lost? What would that in a competitive
How did
game?
the D look? Did they get to the quarterback? Did they make him look uncomfortable? Then I would change my thoughts about some of the defense, I guess, for sure. And Rossi. Yeah, if you get to the quarterback, I mean, sure.
The question going forward, right, is can they win games? When, what are they going to do against Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota? Like these are, a win changes everything. A loss, it's how it looks.
Thomas, does getting past Cleveland change your outlook for the Tigers this postseason? No. The Guardians were terrible.
No, I wish there were better odds.
That series should have been over in Game 2.
I wish there were better odds to bet against the Tigers winning the World Series. There's a lot of money to put on that just to win like $1, so you don't want to do that. No, it does not. Cleveland was not a good team. No. They were only a good team against the Tigers at points this season.
They got insanely hot. Thomas, how much leash should Jonathan Smith give Joe Rossi before looking elsewhere?
As long as he believes in him. I mean, to me, if you are a coach who believes in every member of your staff or a member of your staff, you should keep that person and forget the outside noise. If you think that Joe Rossi is the guy to get defense right for you and have the defense you want, then you don't listen to other people. But ultimately, it's your tenure. If you're Jonathan Smith, it's going to be tied to what that defense does. So if you believe in him and you think he's the guy for you, and don't listen to anything else.
And do the players still listen to Rossi? If they're listening to him, if it's just the lack of talent that you have, I understand that. But if the players aren't listening to Rossi anymore and they just look out of place and guys are wide open, then I can understand making a move.
Yeah, you got to feel like you need to make a change. Otherwise, don't worry about what Matt C says.
Speaking of Matt C, Jason and Graham, can we win a national title with Smith? Can we win the Big Ten title? Assume the resources are not an issue. Ooh, unlimited resources.
Well, so that's You have to say. I mean, if you can't win if you don't think you can win a national title with the coach you have in place, with resources not being an issue, then you don't have the right coach.
I just can't believe that resources would not be an issue.
Correct.
So I just can't. Yeah, even for the bit and answering the question, I just can't take that seriously.
But if you told me Jonathan Smith had all the resources that Dan Lanning has, or Ryan Day has, I would be very curious to see what he could build. And that's part of the reason I think that Jonathan Smith now at Michigan State, you may get to a point where you're not going to quite have that tier of resources, whatever the next iteration looks like beyond rev-share, whatever the next 5 to 10 million you need or whatever, and that you need a coach who can pull out some devil magic a little bit. And if you don't think you have the,
I like devil magic.
Yeah. So
let's do some of that.
But yeah, no, I think
Cockburn.
Pound the bushes.
If you're talking no unlimited resources or resources not being an issue, I think you can build a really good program. And once you're there, once you're a playoff program, I think momentum feeds itself, and they would have a chance. And the resources are the issue.
Doesn't the question, I mean, if you think that they can win a Big Ten title, then you'd have to assume that they can win a national title. So if you're winning the Big Ten, I mean, come on.
Correct.
Especially with the college football playoff the way it is now.
By the way, if Michigan State, one resource they do have in East Lansing that other places don't have,
Jim Hayos,
and Groovy Donuts.
Pound the bushes.
The Groovy Donuts this week, by the way, this cookie and creams donut. Oh my God, it is.
Oh my God.
I do this every week they come up with another one that the fact that I'm going to be in Nebraska all weekend it's almost worth canceling the trip and not covering the game. Rich chocolate cake donut topped with smooth vanilla icing and Oreo crumbles. It is incredible. I've had it before. Fantastic. This Thursday through Sunday, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m., Groovy Donuts is open. Make them part of your home tailgate. There are 2 locations, Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing and also in Williamston. GroovyDonuts.com to place your order. If you're going to a watch party, if you're going to sit around with some friends, make Groovy Donuts part of your day. It'll bring joy to your life. If you're not that great a personality, people will be happy to be around you because you brought Groovy Donuts. You'll be remembered for that.
Until the donuts are gone.
Then you're going to need a personality. But bring Groovy Donuts, and it will help. Again, GroovyDonuts.com.
Jarrett, if MSU basketball starts unranked, is that a bad sign? Because a team starting unranked, then becoming a 1 or 2 seed in the NCAA tourney, has never made the Final Four.
Yeah, it's not great history on that. If Michigan State basketball is unranked, and again, you know how I feel about the preseason rankings and all that stuff.
You love them.
Yeah. It would be, first of all, it would just be stupid if they're not ranked. Because there's, looking at all the teams, and we don't know what other teams are, but all these teams that lost a lot of people or changed over rosters, and you think they got talent because of transfers and this and that. Michigan State was in an Elite Eight last year. They won the Big Ten by 3 games, and they return a good core of that team. Like, to not rank them would be just shitty analysis, and they ought to be ranked. I don't think when you lose a Chase Richardson and they lose Jaden Akins, and, you lose Trey Holloman, but really Jace Richardson's the guy you lost. The other guys are guys you sort of lose every year as they graduate out of the program or leave or whatever. Like, Chase Richardson's the guy you lost. But when you have Cohen Carr and Jackson Kohler and Jeremy Fears back and a number of guys in intriguing parts, like the idea that this team coming off what they did wouldn't be ranked. Like, I understand that portal-wise there are teams that do more and people get infatuated with that. But, again, if we've talked about this. If Michigan State added the pieces they have coming back in the portal, they'd certainly be ranked. I think this team ought to be ranked. I will be surprised if they're not, and it'll just speak more to just an inept voter base.
Why don't you write something? Why don't you write something, huh? Why don't you write something?
Sparty Barb. Great pickup for Izzo getting Julius Avent. Does this increase MSU's odds for landing Josiah Jarvis in the 2026 class?
Yeah, I mean, there's some inkling that it does help. I don't know. I know they were hoping to have Avent before visiting Jarvis, which I think is happening this weekend. But they were hoping that, yes, they were hoping this order would happen. So I don't know to what degree, but it is a good pickup, I think. And he's a guy, like, you watch him play, he's not a one, like, he's 6'7", 6'8", power forward, a little bit of a tweener type, Raymar Morgan-ish, good mid-range game. Like, I don't, skilled post player. I don't, he's not built to go to the NBA quickly. He's built for a really good college basketball career. And those are the guys that Izzo has done really well with. And I think it's a good pickup.
Sparty Barb, Graham, have you or would you spend the night at the Izzone campout? I'm sure that you'd be comfortable all through the night in your muskox flannel.
I never have. It's possible I do it. Every year that seems they do it on a road football weekend, so I'm away, like this weekend. But if they do it on a home football, the problem is if they do it on a night before a game, like, I don't imagine you sleep all that well out there. And I don't want to not sleep before I got to work. That's my only thing with it. I think I would spend some time. I might go out to the camp out and hang out till like 2 a.m., just creep out the co-eds and then bounce and what
creep them out.
Yeah, it would be creepy. Me walking around the
I just thought you meant to creep them out.
I wouldn't mean
it sounded
like
I know that, but it just the way you said that.
No, it
sounded like you were like, oh, I can't wait to creep out the ladies. Sorry.
That said, wearing a muskox flannel would be my best chance at looking like a human being who belonged in that setting.
Does Izzo really sleep out there the whole time?
Does
he take a couple melatonin or Does he have like the executive tent? Like, is there?
I think he's got a big tent, but I don't.
Multiple air mattresses.
It's not
in there?
so big there. He goes, hey, there's Izzo's tent, because the story he tells from a couple years ago that he's told now a couple times, so I didn't even include it in the most recent piece I wrote, was that a guy and a girl were walking together, and the guy said to his girlfriend or whoever she was, that like, I bet you Izzo's home in his bed sleeping by now. It was like 4 a.m, and his tent was right there, and he just unzipped it and poked his head out and said, I'm right here,
It's the American way, except America has gotten soft.
That's what he said.
And he wakes him up with like a, with a speaker horn thing at 6:30 in the morning, and so I think he gets a little bit of sleep out there. He definitely
We said, would somebody please guard somebody?
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, no, I would be open to doing it part of the night to get the vibe. I don't think I would sleep out there just because I want to be fresh the next day, and I don't camp. I don't sleep well. I don't camp. My wife doesn't camp, so I'm a chameleon. If I had married somebody who loved to camp, we would camp. But she thinks camping is more like a Fairfield Inn.
That's what you call it, being a chameleon?
Yeah.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah.
For you guys, yeah. Professor, do you want Major League Baseball to go with robo-ums for balls and strikes? And yes, 1,000% yes. Sorry, I answered the question right as I was reading it.
But the umps,
yes, Professor.
And the umps will still be behind there, so the aesthetic doesn't change, right?
I will miss the frame jobs that some of the catchers do, like Dingler, and Jake Rogers is really good at framing those pitches. I will miss the frame jobs.
Frames are incredible.
Yeah.
I think if I was
but some of the some of the strike calls yesterday was like, whoa.
Yeah, and this could be next year, even as early as next year they're doing it? I don't know.
Yeah, what are we waiting for?
Let's go.
Come on. Professor, if Izzo is stacking up a strong recruiting class and not transfers, can he maintain consistent success? It feels a lot like doing so will lead to much more up and down before they put in sweat equity.
Well, I think the program he wants is obviously one that's based on kids he recruits out of high school and that builds a culture within there and develops within his program with guys then supplementing around where they need it in the portal, right? And I think he feels that's best. Like you look at a guy like Trey Fort, for example, and Izzo talked about this on Tuesday. Like Trey Fort is struggling defensively right now, not because he's not an athlete who can defend, but he's struggling because he's been to 5 schools previously that have played 5 different defenses, including last year at Sanford, which is like this press people and take chances defense, and it's like not at all what they want to do at MSU, right? And he's trying to adapt sort of his instincts, and you don't spend like there's a huge advantage to being Jesse McCulloch or being Kurt Tang, even if you didn't play a lot last year, that you understand what it takes to get on the court. Jackson Kohler, before he kind of had his breakout season last year when he was coming off the injury as a sophomore in the middle of the year, at some point in that winter, he realized, if I rebound, I'm going to get on the court. And you realize that because you're part of the program and you see what Izzo values. And I think with transfers, you got to have enough of your foundational pieces to keep what you want. I don't think Izzo keeps doing this if that doesn't work to some degree. The question is, can he get better transfers than some others? It'll be interesting in the rev-share era how that looks.
The urinal or portal.
Scott, how will the rev-share era, however long it is, to be different in basketball as opposed to football? Seems the money that was flying around last year is far less this time around, now with football taking so much. If this is true, does Izzo thrive in rev-share era? This is mostly to do with the non-rev-share NIL money that the basketball players aren't getting as much of. I know most Big Ten schools are only giving $3.2 million to basketball.
Yeah, there's already been a story. I think it was Norlander at CBS about how much less money there is in basketball. I was talking about this last year. Basketball is not the reason rev sharing exists is not men's basketball. It would not exist if it was just men's basketball. Football is driving all this. So when you have a $20.5 million annual cap for athletes, you're going to spend $15 million of that on football. Minimum. You just have to. And then you've got some other obligations and other things you want to do. You're looking at $3 to $4 million for men's basketball. And if you look at some of the payrolls a year ago, and this year there will still be some workarounds because before July 1st, players could agree to different NIL deals. And so you'll see there'll still be more money. But when they're talking about next year's recruiting class, you will see less. Now, the Big East has an advantage here because they don't have football. So if they've opted into the rev sharing, which they have, and they may not be doing the full 20.5, but they may have 7.5, 8 for basketball. That may be their priority, and not every school will have that much, but that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And it'll be interesting to see what it all looks like as people decide to circumvent the system, and to what degree that's a priority, and to what degree schools prioritize basketball, especially in the SEC where it's a football world. I think this helps MSU because the rev-share number is close to where MSU was anyway, from what I understand. And so now I think this is going to bring some other people back financially to that level. And there are things that really help Izzo now. I mean, Mike Krzyzewski being gone.
No.
Some of the other sort of longtime staple coaches checking out. Like Izzo has we talked about this the other day. He has a cachet to him. He's a legendary figure. A lot of parents of players want to be in on that recruiting visit.
Don't coach my team.
And so MSU's got to milk that while they can. And the money will be there for Izzo, I think, to most degrees, because, Ishbia, even though he can't give directly because he owns the Suns.
Would Izzo ever use his own money? Take it out of his own bank account. I mean, how much money does that guy need?
I don't know if he would do that for this. I mean, he gives to a lot of things. I don't think he would view this as a worthy charity.
Trying. I'm sorry, I just figured die trying.
Yeah, I don't know if he'd view that as a worthy charity.
Scott, private equity in the Big Ten. What are the positives and negatives?
So this story has come out that Tony Petitti, and look, if Petitti's talking about it, it's coming from the member institutions too, that they're perhaps going to partner with a private equity group to bring in a lot more money, and it would also extend their grant of rights deal with all their television contracts right now. And I don't like it. I understand. I've read Scott Docterman's piece on the idea that this is not, ceding control to private equity in this case, and the way they're doing it doesn't look awful on its own, but it's opening a door that you do not want to go down. You do not want private equity in college athletics, and you don't want. It's the big thing that happens eventually is you're making cuts and you're doing things for financial reasons and you don't have control over it, and that it's some level that still has to be college athletics, or fuck it, make it all go away. And I don't think private equity is an area you want to go down. If you need to go there financially and you're the Big Ten, which has all these advantages, then you need to restructure and rethink what you're doing.
Scotty Green's El Camino. Graham, the Tigers make the World Series, and Jason calls you because he scored tickets to a game and asks you to go. But Elizabeth reminds you that you have a Hallmark Christmas movie bingo party the same night. What do?
Oof.
Well, he's not going to be a chameleon, and he's going to put his foot down and tell her that he's going to go to the World Series.
Yeah, I'm going to the World Series. And because there are multiple weekends to have this Hallmark Christmas movie bingo. They start October 17th, and they go through like the beginning of January. You're not.
I don't care if it was on Christmas. Go to the World Series.
You're going to the World Series. Yeah,
someone gets a ticket. Come on.
And my wife would insist on that. By the way, she gets it. She may not want to watch the World Series, but she gets that I should be there for the opportunity to hang out with Jason.
Ken Chu, come on, really, Graham. Didn't get my Yes Virginia reference. I know it's still a while till Christmas, but holy Hallmark, Graham.
Yeah, sorry. It's
how dare you not get that?
It's not a yes. It's a famous.
What is it
line.
from?
It's a famous line. Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. There's been movies done.
You have to be on the ready.
I should have.
People throw that at you, dude.
I know. I screwed up. Now I don't know if I've seen that specifically used in a Hallmark movie, but yeah, I should have been there.
Big John Hogg. Nebraska doesn't have hot people. Not since Aunt Becky from Full House. She and Nebraska football relevance both left in the 90s.
I've seen some hot people in Nebraska. They've got some hot people.
Like residents, or were they in there for something?
No, I think they're residents.
Sure, they were there for.
I mean, it's like any college campus; they're going to be hot people. But I sometimes
Graham's ready to creep them out.
That's right. I'm definitely going to have a muskox flannel for this trip. I do think like sometimes you overrate towns as having hot people. I was in L.A. 2 weeks ago, and I did not think people there were as hot. They're sort of.
It's all plastic surgery.
Right. They're attempting to be hot. But,
fake butts and everything.
I think little L.A., I think Lansing's got hotter people than most of L.A. Now, there are areas, right, the beaches and, really high. Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
All right, sorry.
It's just ridiculous. Big John Hogg.
We fix that one in post. That's not a
we
great
might have to
take.
delete that. A family member scheduled Little L.A. I mean, come on. It just made my balls just. Big John Hogg, a family member scheduled their wedding for October 24th. I have tickets to the game. What do I do? You shun that family member forever. Don't go.
Yeah, well, the game's on October 25th.
Oh.
So there you
go, Big John Hogg.
Do both. Like, how far away is this?
Yeah, you can do both then.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you don't just have the date wrong here, and it's truly October 24th, the wedding, I feel like
What day is it?
it's a Friday night.
Friday night.
Yeah, I feel like they were trying to do a solid by not having a Saturday college football wedding.
I can live with that, yeah.
You wanted a fall wedding, but you didn't want to do it on a college football Saturday. I respect that. My wife wanted a fall wedding. We would have had a fall wedding if not for me working these Saturday. We just couldn't do it. We did it late August, but I would have. We'll try to talk on a Friday night.
I'm just saying, if you're going to have it on the day of, I will be at the ceremony, but the after party is going to just entail me watching. I'm going to watch the game somewhere. I'm either going to have to go to my car, watch it on my phone or something, or I'll be at your party watching it on my phone, or, if you're nice enough, you'd have TVs for people that would be there. But if it's the day before, as long as I can get somewhere and watch the game the next day, I wouldn't mind October 24th on a Friday night.
Friday night's fine.
Would not bother me.
Now, if you've got to go, like, if this is traveling, like, 16 hours, then you're not going to be
even
able to
then. Can I watch the game on Saturday and then we travel back after that, and then I'm home for the Lions game? Like, I don't know. Like,
you'd be okay.
This is why I just don't get invited to stuff. Just don't invite me. Alex Mayer. By the way, who's the family member though? Big John.
That's another thing. Is it a cousin? Did they come to your wedding? Like, what is? Yeah, what's the obligation?
Right. Yeah, Alex Mayer. I set the over under for Michigan State sacks at 1.5 for tomorrow. What do you take?
You taking the over or under on that?
I would take the under.
Me too.
I mean, come on.
I wouldn't.
I'm a big analytics guy.
I wouldn't feel great
AJ.
about this because Raiola is a guy who extends plays. He may run into a sack that's technically a sack at some point too. So you could wind up going over pretty easily.
Need a half sack though somewhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
There's one.
I wouldn't love that. By the way, I have a wedding this year I'm going to, and I don't get to go to many anymore because I've kind of aged out of that. I was hoping
You sound bummed.
I am. I was hoping
Really?
more friends would get divorced and there'd be more second weddings. It just really hasn't happened the way I hoped. But I have a cousin, the youngest cousin in my family. She's like 10 years younger than me, getting married. She's an FBI agent. She's phenomenal.
I'm sure she enjoys her job being thrown out there. Does she have any undercover work that you'd like to expose? Or
I don't know if actually that's a problem.
Should you ask people before you just throw their jobs out? I mean, on this show anymore. I mean, what do you need to do?
I won't give her a name. That helps. And she doesn't have a last name.
But she's related to you. It wouldn't be hard to figure out. Like if someone really wanted to. I mean, someone wouldn't. Thank God. Because no one cares about this show.
Different last name and probably last name changing again with the wedding. So
cool.
So I'd be tough.
All right, let me write that down.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway,
keep giving me notes.
New Year's Eve wedding though. What do you think of
What does she look like? New Year's Eve wedding?
Yeah, this year.
I don't even do anything on New Year's Eve. I would be okay with that.
I know. For me it's kind of fun because now we actually have something to do on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
We'll actually stay up a little later. I stay up.
I mean, I'd rather do nothing on New Year's Eve and go to bed and then wake up great. But yeah, if someone had a wedding, I wouldn't be bothered.
It's black tie event. It's going to be fun. Everybody's dressed up New Year's Eve.
Well, it's the FBI. I'm sure there's going to be undercover.
It's going to be great.
Trump will be there.
Pretty good. That'll be a story we're telling, by the way, presented by our friends at Midtown Brewing Company. And if you're looking for a place this weekend for a date night, to catch a game, to just have a beer by yourself, deep in your thoughts, Midtown Brewing Company's here for you. Fantastic menu. Some great October drink selections, too. You can see their menu on their Facebook page. Midtown Brewing Company in downtown Lansing.
Ralph E., 3 great column ideas. 3? Wow. Michigan, Wisconsin may be a bloodbath. MSU might have to dodge a bullet with Luke Fickell, who, by the way, doesn't get complaints from fans about his personality. And based on matchups, MSU Nebraska might be the best Big Ten game of the day. Safe travels.
Thank you, by the way. It could be the best Big Ten game of the day. I don't think Michigan, Wisconsin will be it. Hold on, let me look up the Big Ten schedule. Give me 1 second.
I am the passenger.
Really good peanut. Yeah, it's not a great weekend. Penn State at UCLA, Washington, Maryland can be okay, but how many people care? Illinois at Purdue, Louisiana, Monroe at Northwestern. That could be the banger. This has a chance to be just competitively, and two teams with hope and good quarterbacks. Should be a
Big
good
10
game.
plus is ass.
Mojo Jojo, when the Lions win a Super Bowl, will their trade with the Rams be the most mutually beneficial in the history of American sports?
The idea that both teams got a Super Bowl out of it. Would you say? I mean, I
know we did beat Stafford when he came into town, so that was nice. Yeah, I guess you could say so.
Can I give you one on accident that sort of happened? The worst trade in the NBA history, arguably, is the Luka Doncic trade with the Lakers. But because of it, they wound up getting the lottery spot that wound up as Cooper Flagg.
Because the NBA is rigged.
So
no way around that.
So if Cooper Flagg winds up being a star and the Mavericks have a great run under him and win a couple championships, and the Lakers have a good decade with Luka, you could argue accidentally when what began as one of the worst trades in the world. The difference between the Lions one and that one is I think everybody from the onset liked it on both sides. Like you understood why the Rams were doing it, and they won a Super Bowl. You understood why the Lions were doing it, and they've become really good, and Jared Goff has outperformed
But at the time, I was like, Jared Goff? Jesus, because they had given up on Jared Goff.
Right.
Like, wow, look at Brad Holmes making a deal with his former team.
I don't think the Lions planned on Jared Goff being their long-term guy. They thought they had the stopgap before they drafted one. They weren't that good, and he's been better than they thought.
Mojo Jojo, have either of you tried a Blumpkin in the fall? Wife is keen to try one once the leaves change, but I'm on the fence. What's a Blumpkin?
That's the thing. So I clearly haven't.
I'll give you some off. Look that up.
Thank you.
I ride through the city's backside. I see the
Blumpkin.
Jesus. Okay. That's not good. Don't do it.
Yes. It worked. Yes.
You
didn't know what it was? Yeah, hell yeah.
I didn't know what it was.
Dude, I've known what a Blumpkin was since I was in high school.
God damn it.
Along with an upper decker.
You know what kind of Google images I'm going to get and ads I'm going to get now that I've Googled that? That's awful.
Come on. You didn't know what a Blumpkin was?
I didn't know what a Blumpkin was.
So we know I guess that answers the question. Have you ever had one? Mojo Jojo, I love you. I tried to read that so straight.
You did well.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Oh my God. By the way, if you don't know what it is and you need to Google it, do it on a private browser or something. You don't want the Blumpkin ads.
What ads are you getting?
I don't know.
Blumpkin ads?
I'm probably.
I can't believe you fell for that. I thought there was no way in hell I was going to be able to pull that off. Mojo Jojo.
Well done,
you get a
sir.
gift card. Hold on a second. Let me give you this. Watch out for those ads. Like, there's because if you look up Blumpkin, it just fires ads, pop-up ads at you. Shit. All right. Well, Mojo Jojo. What did you think it was, by the way? Did you know, like...
I had no idea. I thought it was some...
Spice latte.
Correct. I was about to... You said Groovy Donuts ad off
coffee.
of that. Yeah, I was not. I'm glad I didn't.
They'll give you a Blumpkin donut. Mojo Jojo. The state of Michigan's absolute murder of Ohio sports teams the past 12 months is the biggest Midwestern homicide since Graham pushed that guy down the stairs for hitting on him.
Okay, that's not exactly what happened. And there was no push.
Wait, the guy hit on you? You left that part out of the story, I think.
No, I've told that part of the story.
Oh, he did hit on you.
He was a gay guy.
We know
But
that.
I didn't push him down
Rest
the
in
stairs.
peace.
Okay. Well, I think the story needs to be
So
cleaned
he hit
up.
on you?
So
that's why you pushed him.
No. Okay.
Oh.
He did hit on me, yes. We were hanging out. He was...
Should we reopen this case?
Group of friends. I gave him a ride home, and he put his hand on my leg and asked me if I wanted to go upstairs.
That's a strong move.
And
I play gay chicken.
And he was pretty hammered at the time. I politely
he was driving?
I was driving.
Oh.
I politely declined. He needed a ride home, clearly. He was drunk. I politely declined.
No.
And then he left. A couple years later, he fell down some stairs and died. That's the way the story goes. It's a story worth telling, but presented by Midtown Brewing Company, of course, where there are no stairs, by the way. It's one story. It's no stairs at Midtown Brewing Company. Fantastic menu, great chef, great drink selection, no stairs.
What a eulogy. MSU Stan, which Big Ten road trip is the most underrated experience for fans? If you could trade places with one Detroit athlete for a day, who would it be and why?
Oh, these are two separate ones. I should have broken them. Road trip underrated. So people probably Madison's great, but people assume that. I think Iowa's pretty good. The The problem with some of these places, so like I think Indiana is probably underrated. Bloomington's my favorite place in the fall. The challenge there on a college football Saturday is hotel rooms. So to have the full experience, you want to stay in Bloomington, and that's going to cost you. So, but I think that probably hurts it a little bit. I think Nebraska is really good. Nebraska is easier to get a hotel room. I mean, they've just got more infrastructure for it. Nebraska is really good. I would put Nebraska up there as a place everybody should go on a college football Saturday. Too, the question is, would you trade places with one Detroit athlete for a day? Who would it be and why? I would trade places with many of them.
Any of them? I mean, many. Any.
Who would be the top one? Who would you
awesome.
like to live for a day? Live the experience.
Dude, any of those guys. What do you mean? After a win?
Or just even take
like after. I mean, hitting a home run to like end a game would be sick. Like any of those like the Tiger guys, like Carps or something.
I think
lefty to just hit a bomb out to end a game.
To be Scooball and take a ball on the mound for a day would be kind of amazing to know what that feels like.
Yeah, but that's a grind. I'm talking about just hitting a home run and going, that's, you got to pitch at least 6 strong innings.
Yeah.
6.
Jared Goff,
Never
maybe?
more than 6. Yeah, Jared Goff is tough, though. I mean, are we talking about after a win? Are we talking about forever? Are we talking about one day?
Let's talk about playing the game and then experiencing the evening. Well, he's got a young kid now.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, that's
a wrap for him. It's no more fun.
Maybe Gibbs. I mean, to run that fast, and then
any of them.
Yeah,
J-Mo.
Yeah.
MSU Stan. Which Big Ten road trip? Oh, I read that. Gramanito Couch. Which Big Ten school do you think would be the most fun to go to as an undergrad, other than MSU?
I think a lot of them are good.
I'm about to say, these questions, I'm like, I don't know. Probably all of them would be sick, too.
Madison, Wisconsin. Madison's
money.
A cool place. Wisconsin's a cool spot. I think Madison would. I mean, and I like places that get a little cold and fun. Nebraska would be amazing. All the Big Ten campuses are just awesome. Mostly Indiana. I mean,
Iowa. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. They're all great. Yeah.
Just not Iowa. Couch on fire. So would you rather be the Guardian Indians and come on like gangbusters to capture the division on the last day, or the team they beat out that's moving on in the playoffs?
You'd rather still be alive.
Well, no shit.
But you don't want to really.
The season still sucked, though.
Yeah,
come on, dude. The end of the season blew. I'm happy we're on to Seattle, but come on.
You don't want to be either team, really, in this case. But you'd rather be the team that's still playing. 100%.
Couch on fire. Other than getting to the quarterback, what's a key that you should look for in the Nebraska game that makes us feel like we have a chance?
Well, Nebraska hasn't stopped the run very well, so can Michigan State run the football? And then beyond that, though, I think it's do MSU's top playmakers on offense. Childs, Marsh, Mari Kelly, maybe some of those other receivers. But do those top guys control the game, have big moments, I don't say dominate entirely. That's not fair. But are they really good no matter the defense, the setting? Because that's what you really need if you're going to have a chance in some of these other games against Indiana, Michigan, Penn State down the road. You need to have guys that when the other team has dudes that are a problem for you, well, you got some guys that are a problem for them no matter what. And so I that's what you want to see in a setting like this, that they can carry you away, so that they can raise your entire team's level. And I think that's an important thing.
Skylar Verdon, once the Big Ten and SEC bully the rest of college football into submission, they're going to turn on each other, right? How else does it end? The greed will corrupt all. Every alliance is temporary.
Yeah, I don't know that it ends well. I mean, here's the thing. Some of these guys are eventually...
But hasn't there been greed for a long, long time, though?
There has.
I mean...
And some of these guys hang on to jobs, Greg Sankey and the SEC commissioner, and we'll see how long Petitti's around. I mean, eventually some of these guys will die or retire, and you almost hope for it, but not their death, but retirement. Sorry, rephrase that. Because what I think sometimes they struggle, they're just stewards of this stuff. They shouldn't screw anything up while they're in. And if, like you watch what they're doing right now with the idea of expanding the NCAA basketball tournament, which nobody wants. Nobody wants the bracket screwed up. Nobody wants more games starting on Tuesday and Wednesday so the people don't have their brackets in, but those games are relevant. Nobody wants this except these morons. And I think if you are for this, it's first line of the obituary stuff. If you want to expand the NCAA tournament, first line of the obituary stuff, maybe tombstone stuff too. Like that defines you as a person, no matter what else you do, unless you fully fund the Lansing Promise or something. It's just asinine. I don't get it. I don't think there's as much money involved as people think, because you're not expanding weekends of the tournament, just a few more games. it just potentially fucks up perfection.
That story bummed me out. Like, just looking at the numbers of how many teams they want to put into the NCAA tournament, I'm just like, why do you need that many?
Well, the problem is it's the same people to a large degree. So if you think that's a good idea, then I don't want you making other decisions.
Right.
Just get a job scooping manure, man, and get the fuck out of the way. It's
Andrew Zuiza. Do we actually know if college football viewership is down? Is this measured as a percentage of households to account for population growth and more households?
Yeah, I mean, ratings are difficult these days because there's so much streaming, and I don't think they're as accurate. I think there are more people watching than ever, but to what degree?
I thought the ratings were up from everything you read.
Yes, and I think temporarily they will be, and I think the college football playoff helps that. Like, there are a couple things going on at once. One, there is this sort of infusion of excitement with the way the college football playoff is and more teams involved, and there are more ways to watch games, and there are more games on than ever. Coupled with this long-term issue of young people don't watch games as much. You're putting out a crummier product in the way it's packaged on television with 55 minutes of commercials in the Michigan State USC game, for example. And you've hurt rivalries that people like. You've damaged college sports in certain ways, and I think the long-term effect of it will be interesting. I don't think it's 100% to be determined yet, but I do not think if young people today get into college and don't feel as connected as athletes, don't go to as many games as athletes, don't watch as much, don't come back and give to their school when they're in their 20s, 30s, and 40s the way the generation before them did and does, then it's a problem. And it's very short-sighted, everything that's being done right now. It's about getting as much money. The private equity stuff is that. It's getting as much money right now to survive now and get through this. And I understand it's a real difficult point, and you need money to get through, and at some point you're living day to day in certain ways. But you also need people who are visionaries, who think long term, who understand that what's most important for college athletics is that people who are 16 to 20 years old right now are still passionately following it 20 years from now.
Max next. You suck, Graham. Oh, there's more. Oh,
thank you.
Giving the muskox flannel to the person who sends in the ugliest picture. What's a good-looking guy like me supposed to do? Cheat?
One thing we may do is you send in 2 photos of yourself, a great-looking photo and a shitty-looking photo. Because, first of all, I got to know it's you. I worry that people are going to just find like the ugliest photo on the internet they can find that's not them and send it in.
Of a guy getting a Blumpkin.
Don't
send one of those to Graham.
Don't send that. That you will be automatically out. So you got to send. We'll probably do something where you got to send a regular photo of you. Maybe you have to send a photo of you holding up a newspaper with today's date too. I don't know. We'll figure out.
Oh my god!
Well, it's a good gift. We got. We need
standing
to
on one leg.
Need to be legit.
Have your right eye closed.
Yeah. So it's about
a contest.
It's relative to your ugliest photo versus who you are at your best.
Max, this certainly isn't a vintage Nebraska team. Trouble running and stopping the run. They also don't seem like a quick strike team. Don't you think that MSU can win by winning the time of possession battle?
I do think MSU can win this game. Solari thinks they're going to win this game. Solari thinks they're going to go like 3-1 in October.
Graham.
Yeah, no, I do think that they can. I think if MSU can control the ball, that'd be it. I mean, that's in any game, right? But I think there's a chance that they have a decent time at the line of scrimmage in this game, and they need that. And if they don't in this game, I think it's also concerning. I don't think Indiana's overwhelming at the line of scrimmage. That's not how they're winning. But I think it's concerning for Michigan and Penn State for sure. But yeah, no, I think MSU can absolutely win the time of possession battle. I think part of what MSU is, they do have some quick strike ability in their offense. You can't be afraid of that. But if MSU can't run the ball against this Nebraska team with some level of success, I think they're going to struggle to do it throughout the Big Ten.
Mr. Benjen, are you two Debbie Downers willing to eat crow on the Tigers' grit and ability to inexplicably win? No, I'm not going to eat crow. I don't want to. I'm not a Debbie Downer. I'm just saying. I'm telling you about what I see.
You can still be shitty and be gritty. Like it's
just got to play another shitty team, like the Guardians.
Like I'm not. I don't think I ever. Well, I did question their grit because it seemed like things were spiraling on them a little bit.
Dude, it looked like they gave up. What are you talking about?
No, this was a good game for them. They played well, and they deserve credit for it. They deserve credit. Javi Baez was phenomenal too. I mean, he's changing the way people remember him. He'll never be like this guy that was this great signing. But this whole year and this way he's sort of had this rebirth has been good.
Benjen. Sadly, didn't you two have the wrong takeaway from Sip? He said Raiola can throw on the move. Isn't he going to eat MSU's defense alive?
Possibly. Yeah. I mean, it's very hard to see. Nebraska has not played a great schedule. Cincinnati's okay, and they beat them. That wasn't the cleanest offensive game. And then Michigan's a really good defensive team, so that's hard to judge. And then they play two horrible teams. I think there's a chance that Raiola, like every quarterback Michigan State's played this year, is trouble for them. At least the last two high major quarterbacks. So yeah, no, it could absolutely be an enormous problem. That's why you should get a box of Groovy Donuts, because if it becomes a problem and they're giving up long runs, or long pass plays, one of the things you can do is just grab another donut out of the box, and it's comfort food. There's no greater comfort food in this world than a Groovy Donut. You don't need things to be going wrong to have a Groovy Donut. You can enhance your joy, but you can comfort yourself if MSU secondary is just giving up play after play after play. Go to groovydonuts.com or either location, Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday through Sunday. We'll take a quick break. We come back, more of your Groovy Donut Twitter questions. Couch in the Rube, presented by Firekeepers Casino and Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app.
Firekeepers Online Casino and Sportsbook is the site to play from your phone, tablet, or laptop. Get in on all the football action with pre- and in-game wagering. There's showdowns every week in football that you can't miss. Plus, the college and pro hoops are red hot, and the pucks are cool. Get your first casino deposit and sports wager matched up to $500 each. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 or older and located in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117. Where else can you cheer on your team, enjoy a mouth-watering burger or savory sushi, sip on handcrafted cocktails, or one of 46 beers on tap? Take your game day or date night to Cask & Company Kitchen Bar or Front 43 Neighborhood Pub near Frandor. Two amazing places with one awesome blended modern American Asian menu. Catch the game on one of 30 60-inch TVs or stop in for the all-you-can-eat lunch buffet. Enjoy happy hour or elevate your night out at Cask & Company or Front 43 on East Saginaw in Lansing. Ever wonder how comfortable you can be and how good you can look? Put on a Muskox flannel and find out. Muskox has new arrivals for this fall, including the Caper Green Grand Flannel, which even makes couch look good. Muskox is a Detroit-based flannel company that creates soft and durable flannels made to last a lifetime. They become a great partner with Couch in the Rube, not just because they make us look good and feel good, but because they're good people too, and a socially conscious company. For every $100 purchase, $10 is donated to the Alaska Wildlife Conservation. Muskox flannels are designed with 100% cotton that is ethically sourced and double brushed for softness. Feel the quality and comfort of a Muskox flannel by ordering at GoMuskox.com, where Couch in the Rube listeners can enjoy $15 off their flannel purchase with the promo code HOFF. Come enjoy irresistible, award-winning, handcrafted donuts and locally roasted coffee at Groovy Donuts. Surprise your family or coworkers with special holiday designs and flavors, or put the perfect finishing touch on an event with a custom order. Birthdays, weddings, gender reveals, our friends at Groovy Donuts are your answer. Experience the Groovy Donuts difference for yourself on Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing or in Williamston. Get more information or place an order at groovydonuts.com.
Find Couch in the Rube podcasts on Spreaker, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Google Podcasts, CastBox, and the Rube's favorite podcast addict.
Couch in the Rube, our Friday morning show presented by our friends at Firekeepers Casino and the Firekeepers iCasino and Sportsbook app. Download the app, bet the games this weekend, have some fun, do it responsibly. We are answering your Groovy Donut Twitter questions. Jason.
Yeah, man. Josh Inwood next. Graham, are you coming to town for the MSU versus Penn State outdoor hockey game? And what's your over-under on MSU hockey wins this season? For MSU fans coming to Happy Valley, it's a great college town that happens to be in the middle of nowhere.
I do like Happy Valley. I spent a little bit of time there, and I think it would be fun to go to school there. It is in the middle of nowhere. It's very hard to get to by plane these days, too. It's a pain in the ass, which is one of the reasons I won't be there. The other is Michigan State men's basketball plays Michigan the night before. I think it's a Friday night game with a Saturday hockey game, and so I doubt that I will be at the.
What's the drive from the airport?
Well, from if you can fly
if
you can fly directly to State College, it's the best airport in the world. It's very easy. What happened was Delta used to have 2 flights a day out of Detroit directly to State College, which is amazing. And then they went down to 1 flight. Still fine. You get on that flight, it's great. That flight post-COVID, and it lasted a little bit after COVID, is no longer there. So now you cannot get to State College flying from Lansing, Michigan faster than you can driving, and it's like a 7-hour drive. Because you've got to go to Detroit, fly to you might actually be able to fly to about an hour away, hour 20 minutes away, and then drive. The State College Airport takes like 2 connections to get to. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous, man. It sucks. It used to be one of my favorite trips given basketball season because it was so easy, that direct flight. And it's an airport where there's no jet bridge. Like, you get off and it's like you're on a private plane on the tarmac. It's tiny. There's the rental car thing's right there. Your car's right outside. It's like a 4-minute nice country drive to the hotel. It's phenomenal. The whole thing's phenomenal. It's just hard to get to.
Spartan Johnny next. What is the MSU hockey outlook for this year? And have college hockey fixed the end of the season tournament to no longer be one and done? If not, is this something to discuss with Jay Batt?
So I forgot to do the over/under. I don't, in terms of wins, I wouldn't even know. I don't even know the total games they play. But I do think the outlook is. I mean, they've not had a first 2 lines like this. And I'm actually was talking to Adam Nightingale yesterday for a column I'm doing in quite a while. Like, we're talking like the Mike York era of MSU hockey since they've had 2 lines this talented. It is they're going so they should be phenomenal. They should be phenomenally fun. Doesn't mean you win it. I mean, the most talented team MSU hockey's probably ever had, one of the most talented teams in the history of MSU of college hockey was the 1985 Michigan State hockey team, and they won it the next year in '86, and that '85 team didn't win it. So again, it's the one and done, the single elimination. Things can go wrong, and I don't think, I don't think this is like high on Jay Batt's priorities, fixing the hockey postseason. I wish they were going to do it. I don't think they will. I just don't think there's enough money to do anything that costs a little bit more. And I don't know that it would cost that much more. But you add a weekend to it. You add extra games. I don't know. It's hockey inventory is sort of the opposite of football inventory and basketball inventory. They're not looking to add more because it doesn't bring in great revenue, which is unfortunate.
So how many hockey games does MSU play this year, right? Is it 37?
That sounds about
Is that
right.
about
35,
right?
Maybe 35.
Chat GPT. All right, Spartan Johnny. Graham, I was thinking about that offensive line coach you would tell us was incredible, and yet our line was annually terrible. Is Joe Rossi your new Chris Kapilovich?
I think Rossi's a good coach based on his history. I think he's a smart guy when you listen to him talk. But obviously, eventually, it's got to happen. I don't think they have the horses right now. So, I do think I'd like to see what happens if they're able to assemble a team that has the guys up front. And that's the job, that not only of him, of Jonathan Smith, and to make that happen.
Spartan Johnny, Jason, neither of the DMs to Dombrowski or Latz were ghostable offenses. One was correct. Hat sticker guy. And, well, best not to take things personally when engaging someone who willingly records himself singing Proud to be an American. Can Couch get Steven Izzo on the air?
I think we can get Steven Izzo. I got a text from him the other day after we mentioned him on the air. Like, he listens.
Oh.
So Steven Izzo's he listens.
What's up, Steven?
Yeah.
My wife's a big fan. Every time you're at that golf tournament she plays in with the alumni, she's like, I got to get a picture with Steven Izzo. So
yeah. So I
and I'm proud to be an American.
We could get Steven Izzo on. Could we get Steven Izzo singing Proud to be an American? Probably that's a bigger ask, I think.
Ben Kramer. Graham, what are your views on ties in the NFL? What would you do differently? I personally don't mind ties. I loved watching the Packers and Cowboys both go home disappointed. I also like Pat McAfee's idea of having the kickers go out by themselves and having a kicking competition, similar to penalty kicks in soccer.
Yeah, I don't love that. I mean, he lives in that kicking world, so he likes that.
Yeah, but by themselves, like no offense, defensive line to like try to even block it, or
just to see how far. Yeah,
that's stupid.
And I know there'd be pressure, so it'd be a little different than warm-ups. But I don't. I don't love it. What would you do differently? Like, what do you think on ties, and what would you do differently, if anything, with overtime?
I heard Al Michaels yesterday on Dan Patrick's show, and I agreed with him. To keep it at, I don't know why they shortened the overtime to 10 minutes.
Right.
To keep it at 15, I want the teams to – I don't mind if it's a tie after 15 minutes. I can understand where people are frustrated by a tie, but sometimes those games, if you go through the 15-minute overtime period and you're still tied, then it's a tie.
And one of the challenges I know with the 15-minute one is the idea that one team probably gets 2 possessions and the other gets 1, and that's why they went to 10.
I like the college model of overtime.
Yeah. I
really do.
I like that Pro keeps it. Pro is different, and they keep it as a game. I think that's a good question.
But it comes down to 2-point conversions and like you take the kicker out of it. It's finally like, all right, if you have a great 2-point play, let's see it. Like that kind of ending, I kind of enjoy.
Yeah,
but the NFL, it doesn't bother me if it goes to a tie like that. And
I to me, the idea that both teams get the ball regardless, I think, is something, and that's what happens in the playoffs, right? It doesn't matter if they score a touchdown. I think both teams get the ball.
Yep.
I kind of would like that. 15 minutes and both teams get the ball is probably what I would do. I don't hate ties either. I mean, I actually like that the Packers tied a game now, and we were talking about this the other day, that the idea that there are no tiebreakers you're going to have to figure out this season with the Packers and Lions, unless the Lions also tie a game. That's just been figured out for you. It's like, that's great. I mean, to me, it's not like, well, down the season, did they split, and what team in what division had this record? And, nope. One team's got a tie. They're going to have a kind of a crooked number there, and that's helpful.
C-Dubs91, did you guys see the replay stream in the Virginia-Florida State game? Is this something more conferences should do to increase fan engagement during games?
I think people would like more transparency is always better. Like, if you can see what's being discussed in the replay booth and what they're looking at, I think that's good, because it just adds to the trust, right, of what's happening. I don't hate that.
C-Dubs, what would an appropriate time be if we were to institute a timer on replays? Call stands if timer runs out with no decision.
This would be like when I used to bring that little game piece hourglass timer to my conversations on Spartan Speak with Solari, and he had a minute to talk, and then so it'd be funny if they actually had like an hourglass, and you could just you could see it. What would be an appropriate amount of time? I think it should just be a minute tops, a minute from the and it should be replay assist.
Especially if they have a replay center that they send it to.
Anything over a minute, it sticks.
John Naughty, do you have any memories or influence from Ray Lane? He and my grandpa grew up together, went to Mackenzie High School together in Detroit, and remained friends until my grandpa passed away. My grandpa said even as a kid, while everyone else was playing ball, Ray would just stand there and announce. Ray Lane was a great Spartan. Go Green.
I mean, I remember watching him, younger. Yeah, for sure.
Because it was like Ray Lane, and then it was like George Michael and the Sports Machine or something, right? Like those were the shows as a kid of like.
And him doing Red Wings and and I mean his Tigers stuff was before me, really. But the
a lot of his stuff was before.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
Rest in peace, Ray, and your grandpa, John.
Yeah, no, and you hear that a lot about announcers who really make it. Guys who are just like at an early age, they were announcing with the TV, they knew it. When their friends are playing, they're not. Yeah,
anybody tell Ray to shut the hell up every once in a while?
I don't know.
Hey, Ray, you gonna play?
I would like it if somebody was announcing my game as I was playing, as long as they announced me correctly. What a crossover by Couch. All right, thank you.
Oh, this guy. He got it! Oh, yeah. Will Tiemann come on and do it. John, Facebook just said I'm on a 3-week streak for Couch in the Rube weekly engagements. Higher than anyone else. What's my prize?
If you can get to 4 weeks and you can get really ugly, the problem John's got is he's not an ugly guy. So I don't know how ugly John can get, but there might be a muskox flannel in his future.
But you can have angles though where you're ugly.
Correct. Everybody's got angle.
Ugly angles.
Absolutely. Even the most not the most beautiful people, but most
they
people
do though. If you turn your head and like open your mouth and like you can make
underneath. Everybody's got something. Yeah.
Prime Carmen Electra it would be hard for her to do that.
And you have all weekend. Like you cannot take care of yourself for a weekend. Like if you look worse with stubble or nose hairs or whatever, just don't groom yourself all weekend. Take a photo. Well, you have time to create a really ugly image of yourself.
Fart soup. I'm going to ask the question on everyone's mind. Has Graham Couch gotten lazy? I'm sitting on the front porch, sipping coffee, reading the Sunday LSJ, and I can't help but notice how many articles on high school sports Brian Calloway has. Yet a quick search for Couch articles yields just one. More so, he has to share the front page with Solari and his grammatical errors nonetheless. Oh, Solari's got some errors?
So a couple things here. One, the way our deadlines are, and I'm a little surprised everything makes Sunday to some degree, but like a lot of the Friday night high school sports now go in the Sunday paper. So there's a lot of, and Brian writes a lot. He's a workhorse. I'm not, Brian writes a lot. And you also got a bye week where I did write a column. So, I mean, but even most Sunday LSJs, though, I am not in that often during football season. Sometimes I'll write something that's specifically for Sunday that's not football related, and I actually do that. I shouldn't say that because I do that most weeks. They want something. But with our deadlines now, the like tomorrow's or Saturday's game at Nebraska, that outcome is not in Sunday's LSJ. And so all that stuff from me will be in Monday. And that there you go. But have I gotten lazy? Absolutely. That's the other part of this side.
Why don't you write something? Why don't you write something, huh? Why don't you write something?
Fart Soup, Jason, warning, apologies in advance for harshing your buzz. But this past weekend, Mother Soup passed away after battling cancer. I'm sorry to hear that. She was a big MSU women's basketball fan and had season tickets for years. So Couch, in her honor, gives a few quick observations on the women's team this year. And please answer the perennial question I always asked her when she offered me tickets. Can they dunk yet?
I don't know if there are some women's basketball players who can dunk. I don't know if there's anybody on this roster who can dunk. I'm curious to see this roster. I'm curious to see, what like Theron Halleck is a senior point guard, if she sort of takes that next step. Grace Van Sluten's back. They have a lot of people back. They have some interesting transfers. They have some people coming in, though, recruits beyond this year that I'm really intrigued about. But the player that I probably think has the most interesting upside to me is Ines Sotelo. And she's a sophomore, 6'3", which I think she's taller than a year ago based on what her height was a year ago. She's the Spanish player. She played in the Spanish under 21 team or whatever over the summer. I really like her potential in her game. They've got another foreign guard, Sarah Sambolik. They've got I like what she's doing there. I'm curious to see what it all looks together. I like the style they play. The thing I think I've realized with Robin Freilich is we still don't know what sort of ceiling she can have, and she's got some recruits that make you think they can have a pretty high one, and her past winning makes you think that too. But her floor is always going to be high. Like I would be very surprised outside of a year where they get hit with a rash of injuries if they're not an NCAA tournament team every year because the style they play and the baseline of talent that she has.
Sports Guy 1919, how much pure options did the people that think MSU is in a better position than Penn State take? Penn State won 2 playoff games last year and made the Final Four. MSU fans would give their left nut for that.
Yeah, you'd rather be Penn State than Michigan State. With James
give my
Franklin
right nut.
Okay,
I like my left nut.
Okay. Well,
sorry, I don't know why I told people that.
Right nut, more in a better position when you Blumpkin, perhaps, or whatever. It's,
don't be gross.
Hey, man, don't put Blumpkin on me.
Don't put Blumpkin on me. Hey, man.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree with you.
Hey, man, back off the Blumpkin talk. You did this to me. Are we done with that?
Yeah, no, totally. But I totally agree. MSU fans would much rather be in Penn State.
Right,
situation.
Gaseous Winston. What are the chances of the JMO Goff chemistry being restored against a struggling Bengals defense?
JMO didn't look good last week.
The one drop was tough.
Yeah.
It was a tough catch, turning your body back around. And Goff, not really. I mean, is he throwing the best deep ball right now? I don't know. Yeah.
I mean,
there's a lot of things to get right with the Bengals.
Be a good week for it. Yeah.
Gaseous Winston. On the live stream, why does Jason get such a disrespectful amount of screen space? Is it because Graham has a better muskox selection? Make the Rube great again. Listen, I don't care about that. We're sitting here on the YouTube live. I'm in the corner. I don't care as long as I'm on the other side of the booth here. You got to do something here. Can't have half and half. It just would look weird.
It's what the
as long as
system
the
does.
money's the same. I give a shit.
I would decline it. Or I would if I had a chance to do it, I would decline the extra footage and I would rearrange how it's done and I would make it half and half, or I'd make Jason bigger. I think people would rather watch
Oh, really?
the Rube than me. Oh, would people rather watch me?
No, it isn't, but it's just the way it's set up. Like, I just don't care. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not a thing that bothers me. Jay Riemenschneider, Graham, when are you going to give me credit for you now using and talking about Xfinity Multiview? I sure never heard you ever talk about it until I tweeted at you about the function.
Yeah, it was something I had meant to try. You do deserve credit, Jay, because it was something I had meant to try, and you reached out, and then I played around with it. And so, yeah, no, you deserve full credit. I appreciate it. Xfinity Multiview, one of the great ways to watch college football this weekend.
Congrats, Jay. The Cauldron Mule of Southern Maine. Over under 2.5 felonies committed by Hank Voigt this season.
I'm going to go over because sometimes they're quiet felonies that you don't even realize that it's probably illegal. Hank Voigt is the lead character on Chicago PD, which
oh my goodness. Okay,
week.
I was like, man, you're talking about a player, like pretty wild sideways shit there.
Incredible first episode. They wrote off the black woman at the end of last season again, which seems to be an issue for this, and they brought in an attractive white woman. It's a little bit of an issue for the show. I'm noticing
racism.
Yeah, but otherwise, I'm a huge fan of the show, and it was an incredible first episode.
The Cauldron Mule of Southern Maine. Trump motioning like he's jerking two dudes off at the same time is considered a dance? The cross-country skiing dance.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, what Elaine did on Seinfeld was a dance. I don't think that was anywhere. That never really, that caught on for a minute. People
they were doing it. Yeah, they were doing the Elaine dance. They did that at minor league baseball games and stuff.
Yeah, and occasionally you see it at like a wedding or somebody will pop out. And
the show's been off the air for about 27 years, but it was there for a minute. The Cauldron Mule. Would Jonathan Smith be able to replicate his run at Oregon State if he started in 2025?
Well, no, because they're not in the Pac-12 anymore. I think that's a tough place to build. And I mean, you might be able to do it at a lower level and be a really good mid-major or whatever, but it's hard if you don't have, and I'm not even sure what their rev-share situation is entirely there, but you don't have the resources, you don't have the conference. How do you recruit and maintain guys? I don't think they'd have as many pros as he had when he was there. I do not. And the pros he had, he might lose to. No, I think it's a shitty situation for Oregon State.
Richard Kane, more obnoxious. Ohio State fans or U.S. Ryder Cup fans or patrons or whatever the fuck they're called.
Well, in this case, it's Ryder Cup fans because they were
Buckeye fans.
But overall, right, the consistency of the obnoxiousness is Ohio State fans. And again, I talk about that piece I did that I never wrote but reported on years ago where I talked to opposing fans at Michigan State football games who travel to a lot of games and about their experiences at different stadiums. And like unanimously, Ohio State was the worst. Everybody had a good experience here, bad experience here, but it was always bad at Ohio State. It was amazing that everybody said those were the worst fans, and so I'm going to trust the opposing fan bases from a number of different fan bases.
Cooper, what is Jason's mental preparation tomorrow for MSU football right into Tigers baseball? Well, just depending on the MGs and what I have to douse myself with for whatever happens during either the MSU football game or the Tigers game.
It is kind of awesome that it worked out there. I was worried it was going to be a 4:00 game, and it was going to piss me off that these networks don't understand that. First of all, I mean, it would hurt the Tigers baseball audience because there are people who will care a lot more about the Michigan State football
don't have two TVs. There's a lot of people out there.
Yeah.
Or multi-view. They don't have multi-view.
Well, that's the thing. But yeah, I
if you don't have the multi-view, you can use two TVs.
That's right.
Yeah. If the Rube can do it, you could do it too. Chris Husband next. Sorry to ask a question about another podcast here, but since Graham is a co-host, here it goes. What in the Chris Solari interrupting Graham almost every time? What is this right? Are you putting these in AI or something?
No, it's like keep reading it.
What in the Chris Solari interrupting Graham almost every time Graham speaks is going on with the Spartan speak? Okay. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Chris.
All right.
So a couple things. One that we do jump over each other a little bit. This week's episode is weird. There's a small echo. I think I will. There's either something going on with the Wi-Fi on Chris's end, or I did something in the editing process.
Graham.
I worry there's one step I did something I wasn't supposed to do. I will, and it's screwed up. It's still a decent podcast, but I don't know if it's entirely Chris. This week is worse than some other weeks, and
were you guys in the same room?
No.
Yeah,
we're over Zoom.
It's just impossible. Yeah. That's impossible for you two guys to do that. You got to be in the same room. Jake Hawkins, if Mark D'Antonio would have retired after the 2017 season, do you think MSU could have gotten either Dan Lanning or Brett Bielema as head coach?
It's a good question. Give me some Hoff for 1 second.
Hoff.
ever bright in the hollow sky. You know it looks so good tonight.
That's crazy.
So, at the end of 17, the problem is Bielema was being fired by Arkansas. And so he was not a hot coach at that time. He went on, he was with the Patriots as a consultant to the head coach, then the Patriots defensive line, then the Giants linebackers, then came back to Illinois in 2021. I don't think he would have been a good hire, but not somebody who wins the press conference. And again, that's a challenge. I think Pat Narduzzi would have been the guy. Dan Lanning, hold on one second, sorry. So, yeah, Dan Lanning wasn't yet big enough on the radar either. You look at Dan Lanning's run, he was a GA at Alabama in 2015. He was a inside linebackers and running backs, a recruiting coordinator at Memphis coming out of 2017. Would not have been on the radar at all. Georgia outside linebackers, 18, and then was the defensive coordinator at Georgia, 19 to 21. So both Bielema and the timing of it just didn't work. The timing for both of them actually was better when they actually made the hire. They could have had, it would have been made more sense to hire Dan Lanning, and maybe they could have got him in 2020 when they got, and same with Bielema when they got Mel Tucker.
Jake Hawkins. Is a second national title keeping Tom Izzo motivated to stay coaching?
I think that's part of it. I think he also just likes being Tom Izzo, and doesn't love every aspect of it. But I also think he loves to compete. He loves the team he has. He loves having a team. He loves the campus environment. But there's no doubt that he would like to do that. And I think if he had, the question is if he'd already won a second one, would he still be doing this? Well, he said something interesting in his intro press conference before the first practice. He was asked, would he retire if he won a second one? And he said, definitely not. And it sort of flies in the face of what I've always thought. I've always thought he might just walk away if he won a second one. I also think he would enjoy coaching the next year, being able to say, I told you so. And also, I always think for any coach or player, the year after you win a championship, getting to exist that year when everybody loves you and you've done it already would be a lot of fun.
But could you answer yes, though? Like, yes. And what if they do? Then you're like, all right, well, I guess I have to go.
No, but the way he just said definitely not then, like he really would want to just do a I told you so tour, I think would be the thing Izzo would want to do.
Back to the white elephant in the room. They don't want to deal with the white elephant in the room.
Next one from the Hawk is CBS intentionally avoiding MSU football games. They're doing Penn State at UCLA this week. Seriously?
Yeah, it's weird because MSU, Nebraska's on FS1 at a similar time, and CBS would have the pick before them, and Penn State must be the draw they want. And that's a good question on why that is the way it is, because it would seem that Nebraska's got a big enough draw, and Michigan State's still in the thick of things, and has a big enough draw. I mean, they chose Michigan State, USC over Oregon State. That was Fox 2 weeks ago. That is interesting that Penn State at UCLA, which is going to be should be a massive blowout, was the choice.
Upper Deck Jerk Guy. How many dimples does the average golf ball have?
7,400.
No, you're way off.
I don't know.
It depends on the golf ball, but there's like, what, 500, 400? No.
I have no idea.
It's 300 or 400, something like that. Maybe. Jerk Guy, have you ever been sitting there in an open press box and thought, I could just jump?
I've thought about the fall before. Not that I would jump, but yeah. I've never been at one where you...
So you just completely shut out the jumping part and just go right to the...
Well, most open air press boxes, though, are like the fans are right there in front. You wouldn't fall far. There have been, I think, maybe...
You imagine looking up and seeing a falling Graham couch like coming your way.
Muskox flannel.
Oh, my God.
Cushioning the fall. That's how it sounds.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Ouch. Jerk Guy, what cup size are you up to for your man's ear?
At least a B.
I haven't worked out in 2 weeks. It's getting to C status here. I just don't want to be an old guy with tits. I just don't.
I've started doing push-ups again. I'm just like...
You have to.
Yeah, it's just not... It's like... You
talk about, if you're the one on your knees, like where you just get the half one, something to keep the... Jesus.
It's become the thing I look for first when I try on a new shirt.
Tits, yeah.
It's tits.
Yeah.
Yep. Do I have tits? And And
dude, muskox, I know we say that, but they're perfect to hide your titties.
It's one of the best things about muskox flannels.
It really, when you're not feeling like you've done push-ups in a while, I'm serious. I know Couch says that, and I believe that.
I think it should be part of their marketing campaign.
For
Hide your
real.
man boobs, muskox. Yep.
Muskox, hiding your tits since 1997. Upper Deck Jerk Guy, finally here. Let's get out of here. Who is the best quarterback in the state of Michigan right now? Brock Lowry? I know who Brock Lowry is, but tell the people.
I don't know. Who is Brock Lowry?
I mean, tell the people.
I don't know. Who's Brock Lowry?
Give you some off.
All right.
Unbelievable quarterback.
Oh, the Western quarterback. Sorry.
I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. I'd written about him earlier this year a little bit.
I mean, he used to work there.
Yeah, sorry. That's bad.
All right, I was gonna bail you out of
I've
that.
not been paying a whole lot of attention. I think the best quarterback in the state of Michigan at the college level is probably Aiden Childs right now. That does not mean Bryce Underwood won't eventually be that guy, but he's a freshman, so it doesn't look like that. Boy, that was bad. We got to fix that in post. I should know who Brock Lowry is. I was starting to think it was like some high school kid that I didn't, I was like, oh, fuck, should have looked this one up. Damn it. Anyway, we appreciate all of you. Thanks for producing our show. Thanks for listening and always just hanging with us. And if you want to improve your weekend, again, Groovy Donuts, groovydonuts.com to place your order or swing by either location. Lake Lansing Road in East Lansing, and also in Williamston, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. Thursday through Sunday. We appreciate Midtown Brewing Company. Great place to spend some time this weekend, have a meal, have a date night, watch a game, post up at the bar, whatever it might be. We also appreciate Firekeepers and the Firekeepers Eye Casino and Sportsbook. If you want to have a bet this weekend, download the app or just swing on by Dacey's Taproom and Sportsbook down off I-94 in Battle Creek. We'll be back Monday with our takes and your takes. Good show, man.
Yeah, man.
Couch in the Roof.